Hello, this is a quick demo about the virtual machine controls, and now it's about scaling and resizing and things. So this is a virtual machine that has a little bit of GNOME installed, so we get some real graphical stuff. We started, but first we see the grub screen. I've stopped it now. Yeah, so the first thing now is that, sorry, that this collapsed or compact view of a console does not allow any control over scaling or resizing. It will never resize the frame buffer on the remote end, and it will always scale. So this is not really intended for serious interaction with the virtual machine. That's the idea, and we should not disturb the virtual machine just by resizing the browser and doing stuff here. So that's why we don't want to resize the frame buffer to follow the size of this console. And you probably always want to see everything. You don't want to start scrolling around here. So just, it's more like an icon or some overview, some visual clue of what the machine is currently doing and which machine it actually is. And of course, it's good for simple interaction like typing some passphrase when a machine boots with an encrypted disk or something like this, or interacting with grub here. You don't need super high fidelity. So there's no control here over this. This will always scale and it will never resize. And when we expand, now we get some controls here at the bottom. This is just for playing around. I don't know if they need to be so prominent, but we have lots of space here. Maybe we can put them actually here in a more compact form. But now this is just for demonstrating. When we expand, the default is to do no scaling and no resizing. Resizing is potentially disruptive to the virtual machine because, you know, it's like changing the monitor on the machine. And scaling is probably not what you want in this view, because now you want to have the high fidelity view of it. And yeah, so this is now how grub looks in this case. If you would put on the local scaling, then it would get this big and not necessary, I guess. And if we would switch on remote resizing, then it would resize it, but of course, when you're in the BIOS, it doesn't support it. So let's go back to the default here and continue with booting. Which one is it? Okay. Then we see the boot, and now you see that the remote machine by itself has changed the resolution of the frame buffer. And no, probably not. Oh, yeah. Looks very fuzzy, but let's log in. No, that was a real password. Okay. And yeah, now I'm not super sure what's going on because it does look fuzzy. Let's put local scaling looks the same. Let's open the settings and look at the resolution. Oh, it's a pretty high resolution, so I guess it has adapted here to this size. And if you now switch on scaling, you might see a small difference. But let's just start resizing the window here, and you see how the display gets smaller. And if we would now switch to no scaling here, then we are back at the real size, but there's scroll bars here now to move around. That's of course also not ideal. And what we can now do is switch on the remote resizing here, and then the whole thing will resize itself. You can see here in the settings that the resolution of the virtual monitor is actually changed. If we make this bigger again, it will follow along. And yeah, but if we go back to the small one, this one is now scaled again. It will not resize to this thing here. And if we expand again, we have the same resolution still. And yeah, I think that's already it. Of course, we should do more work to use more space of the screen. There's still all the whole cockpit UI is around this thing here, and we should do something about that. But this is now the part in virtual machines. Another interesting thing is maybe if you are in GNOME or somewhere and you can set the resolution here. Let's set it to some standard value. We keep this. So now, because you have done that, the remote size will not follow the cockpit size anymore. And this is now overridden, and we have this now, the scroll bars. We can go to local scaling to see it all. You can still interact with this here, but the quality is not so good as in this case. And you can't get GNOME out of this anymore without going to the command line and doing some hacks there. But maybe that's what you want. That's a good solution probably for some people, that they set the resolution inside the machine and then they just live with it and don't get Cockpit to interfere with the monitor all the time. I think this was one of the resolutions that we were using. GNOME remembers, and let's see if it now follows. No. Okay. Did it? Yes. Okay. Oh, that's the way to get back. It's a bit confusing. Yeah. Okay. That's the demo. Thanks a lot. Sorry for the rambling. See you next time.